Hi, I'm Sarah Gonzalez. Welcome to the news and why it matters.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Pat. Pat Gray here twice in a row.
Wow.
I can't believe what we had to
treat,
do.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Treat.
And we have Jeffy Fisher.
No way!
Maiden voyage on the news. Yay.
They're allowing me in this studio.
It'll probably be the first and last time, don't worry.
Oh.
Okay.
And I am also here.
Oh, okay. We don't see you there,
what's
Andrew.
up?
What about you,
No,
Andrew?
it's fine. You guys,
When did you come in?
I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna play Tetris on my phone. You guys talk about the news. Let me know what happens.
All right, Pat, what was the top story for you?
I think the Beto campaign people who are perhaps doing illegal campaign fun stuff, and they got caught red-handed. We'll talk about that.
All right.
Hollywood, for sure. Hollywood, more in particular, Barbra Streisand claiming that she's going to move out of the country again. And yet we'll see, hopefully this time she will.
That would be nice.
Yeah. All right, Andrew.
I've got a report from Afghanistan, and I will tell you whether it's good or bad.
Okay. All right. Before we get into all of that, want to thank our sponsor, SkinKick. So I have been talking about SkinKick. I love it. I have noticed a huge difference in not only any kind of blemishes that pop up, but also just the texture of my face. My fine lines have decreased. And I happened to give a box to Tanya, Glenn's wife. And I just saw her yesterday, and she was like, oh my gosh, I just started using it, and I love it, and it smells great, and it's 99% natural. It's got ingredients from the Amazon rainforest.
99%?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, you go to see like Proactive and all those other, you know, skin cleansers, and they've got all of these harsh ingredients that strip your skin. But this one does not do that. And
You know about those other ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
That strip your skin. Yeah, this
The
doesn't.
skin strippers. They
Yeah,
call
I
them.
hate them.
well, they do, and then it's like they discolor your towels and your pillowcases, which is kind of scary that it does that to your fabric, but you're putting it on your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah. No, you don't want to do that.
Gerbils, too. It
It
kills gerbils.
does it?
All gerbils die when they come in contact with it.
Interesting.
That is
Interesting.
unacceptable.
How good do those gerbils look?
They look pretty good.
Well, they're talking about gerbils. I want to
They
cycle
die.
through these before and after pictures of people who have used SkinKick. So as I said, they have a blemish relief cream, and they also have this anti-aging glow renewal serum. So whether you're like the one, you know, with the blemishes or any kind of acne problems, even adult acne, or you've got, you know, you're just kind of reaching, sadly, like me, that age where it's kind of showing. Your tiredness is kind of showing. You need this. It is.
Oh, come on.
Come on, try skinkick.com.
16?
Try skinkick.com. Use promo code TheBlaze30 for 30% off your purchase. It is so hard to get through that with you guys. Okay, Project Veritas.
Okay, so Project Veritas, I'm not a huge fan
Yeah.
of Project Veritas. I like James O'Keefe, but you know, some of the stuff.
You
it was
approach
like,
it cautiously,
I do.
right?
You
Yes.
have to.
Yeah, you have to. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. We should be skeptical of certain things if you don't see the context from which they come. But in this particular instance, I think he's done a great job, and he has been lately. He did an expose on Urban Meyer a while ago, and you saw that too, right?
I
Jeff?
did, yeah. It was
Did he
That
really?
was riveting.
really
I didn't
good.
See that
and
one.
nobody picked
Nobody
up on
saw it, nothing.
Wow, I didn't
really
know
We
that.
played it, and it was like, this is gonna sink Urban Meyer. Nope, nobody picked it up. So then he went into the McCaskill campaign in Missouri and found out a bunch of stuff that they were lying about, and now they went undercover with Beto O'Rourke, and here's what happened.
I just hope nobody that's the wrong person finds out about this.
I can ignore the rules and I don't mind breaking the rules, and I can defend any position. I was going to use the vans too, so we could probably use that. Could we use the
Does
vans?
he not own a chair?
I'm going to use that to give somebody who's going to bench rides too.
I've not seen him sitting. He's on the floor in various positions.
I'm done being nice. I'm done being professional. You know? Because nothing is professional. None of this is like that there's a rule.
Yeah,
book,
like,
you know?
whenever we think this sounds bad, but like, if we just say we're buying food for some event, like the Halloween events, because there's block walks coming up for Halloween.
Have you been able to go and like help out anymore with the other people?
The migrant
I
caravan.
did yesterday.
Yeah,
Tonight we get more, so it's, I don't know how that's gonna go.
Tonight you get more
There's more people coming.
coming? Oh
More
wow.
illegal immigrants.
There's 200 more.
So Jody knows that like
Jody is the campaign manager.
Well, she doesn't know that we use the prepaid card, but it's okay.
living at the...
I know he's on the floor.
Stuffed animal.
He's on a, he's on a desk.
violation that's like a $50,000 fine.
Get caught. Okay.
Yeah. And like, oh, you got caught with this,
You got caught.
$50,000, you know, and it happens more than once. It's a lot of money, you know.
I know that we're using some of the campaign resources to help with the migrants, and like I just didn't want anyone to get in trouble with that. Like I didn't want them to ask me any questions about
This is the campaign manager.
people using resources.
Brett too. Brett, I'm going to show you this. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Not a problem.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, that's some pretty amazing stuff because what they're talking about is illegal campaign finance fraud. Funneling campaign finance money to people in the caravan for whatever is not legal. And they talk about several times how, I mean, you hear how callously and casually they discuss diverting funds that are supposed to go to his campaign. And maybe people who donated to his campaign would like it to go to the caravan, but the federal government has deemed that illegal. So maybe you don't want to do that. It's amazing footage, and they do say that the campaign manager knows about it, is aware of it.
Has text message. There are text messages.
Text messages, and maybe we have that in. Do we have a couple of clips on this, or is that the?
I think that's the only one that we have right now.
So yeah, because in another portion, they talk to another field manager who says that she has text messages to prove that she told the campaign manager about it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
Wow.
No problem. I'm not going to finish my cereal. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I don't care.
I mean, and this actually broke, what was it, yesterday, last night?
Yeah. Have you seen anybody talk about it other than us?
No. And
I
as
haven't
a
either.
matter of fact, his campaign manager, who they just showed saying, don't worry about it, you know, we're fine. She's already tweeted out this morning, go vote for Beto, you know, here's where you can go to view a map to see where your polling place is. I'm like,
hello?
how is she still able to do that?
Well, I will say, if I were the campaign manager and somebody came up and went, hey, I just started volunteering here 2 days ago. Are we doing illegal stuff? I think I would also be fairly, I wouldn't go, let me just tell all of this information to you, the things we may or may not be doing. I would probably be dismissive as well. And that's what I saw up there was her going, you know, just I'm not going to talk about this because she might have been indicted.
So there is, that Pat referenced, there is another part of the video. It's like a 23-minute long video, but there is another part of the video with one of the campaign volunteers or who have staffers
It's a
saying,
field manager.
Yeah, okay, field manager. She's saying, oh yeah, no, I cleared it with Jody. I have text messages to prove it. Like I was gonna, she's basically saying CYA. Like I wanted to cover myself. I've got text messages to show that Jody signed off on this.
It's possible, but it would surprise me in that, like legality aside, and that is an issue. You're not supposed to break the law. However, I would be very surprised if the campaign manager were in favor of diverting campaign resources in a contested race towards something that's clearly not going to aid the campaign. I'm not surprised by field managers who are very, very I mean, we saw that guy. That guy doesn't seem to me like he's like a financier who stepped away from his job as a wealthy investment banker to take on the campaign.
Wait, you had a
He doesn't believe in the
different
concept.
impression?
Doesn't believe in the concept of chairs. So my thought is that's probably some lower level campaign managers who are activists and progressives, and they're violating the law, and that's a thing. And if they aren't, then they should be fined for it. But I would be very surprised if it got all like if this is a conspiracy of Beto and his campaign manager to actually divert funds to.
I don't know about
say that
conspiracy.
I wouldn't say that
I don't know about that.
Beto knows.
But I think they're looking the other way, and I think they're diverting funds to something they believe in. I think this is a cause that they like. Yes. They want these immigrants to come here because, in general, to me, the Democrat Party wants as many illegals to migrate here as possible because those they see as potential voters, and it's kind of evident when you look at their rhetoric from 1990s. The early 2000s, they were all about, hey, we want legal immigration.
Sure.
We want people to come here legally. Don't take advantage of us and our laws. Now it's completely switched, where that doesn't mean anything to them anymore. Now what means something to them is that they see these people as potential voters, I think. And I think it's about their power base. So whether or not it's a conspiracy, I doubt that too. But did they look the other way?
Yeah.
And did she know about it? I don't know. We'll see. But here's what would be great. Why doesn't somebody ask them about it? Why doesn't somebody go to Beto and Jody, the campaign manager, and say, hey, we have this Project Veritas video, and one of your field managers said that she even text messaged you about these campaign funds. Is it true? I think it's worth looking into.
And apparently, James O'Keefe confronted Jody afterwards and was asking her about it, and she just kept saying, no comment, no comment, no comment.
Wow.
I don't, again, if I were a campaign manager and
You
James
wouldn't comment
O'Keefe,
either?
If James wants to come talk to me about anything, I think I'll talk to like the legal department just because it's not going to
Well,
be
I mean,
good.
You're not a fan of James?
Right, but you would
Well, no,
think
just
if
he's
you
coming-
knew that you didn't do anything, I would definitely say
think it would-
I didn't do anything
if
wrong, right?
If James calls me, it's similar to like if Jerry Springer called me and wanted me to go on a show. I don't know what it's about, but it's probably not good. So I would be very careful. Just if he was, because he's probably not calling because he's on the fence.
Yeah, I just know if I knew that I was innocent, I would be sure to say that. But
Especially if he comes up to you, right? If James comes up to
Right.
you,
He comes up, I'm just going to go, I am innocent, and I have to go
we
right
have
now.
a couple of questions.
Yeah.
No comment.
Speaking of the migrant caravan, Trump just held a press conference to discuss his opinion and what he was going to do with the migrant caravan, and we have a clip. Let's watch.
And asylum is about safety. Asylum is not a program for those living in poverty. There are billions of people in the world living at the poverty level. The United States cannot possibly absorb them all. Asylum is a very special protection intended only for those fleeing government persecution based on race, religion, and other protected status.
So I would say that's pretty straightforward.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's a great point to be made that just because you're poor doesn't mean we're legally obligated to let you enter this country. I also read that the migrant caravan is opened a lawsuit against the Trump administration
Yes, they did.
for not letting them in.
Unbelievable.
Which isn't
Unbelievable.
it? Isn't it?
It's unbelievable. The attitude that they just expect everything from us. And they don't have to give anything in return. We don't even have to know who you are, what you're doing, what do you bring to the country. Every other nation on earth asks, what are you bringing to us? How do you add to our uniqueness? Because we love it when you come here and you share your talents and your skills with us. And it's great that you're going to earn a better living than where you were from. But we've got to know, is it just a one-sided thing? Because we could continue to do this in perpetuity, I guess, but it's going to sink us as a country eventually. There was a study a couple of years ago, and I think it was done by Gallup, where they asked people in Mexico, if you had the opportunity or do you have a desire to immigrate to the United States? 1/3 said yes. 1/3. Now that's a nation of 130 million people. 1/3 is 40 million people. I don't know if we can handle that kind of influx. I don't think we'll have to, but it's an indication of where this is headed.
I have a feeling that hippie Andrew over here is going to have a different take.
Yes.
Well, I'm actually going to, I came up with a plan, but I'm going to hold back because I think the angle we're covering today is the legality of it. And well, you can hold back on that. Thank you. I'm going to show that later. That's my plan for stopping the migrant caravan. I think if we're focusing on the legality of it, I agree with you on the presumption of trying to sue Trump while out of the country and being a foreign body. I don't believe, I'm not an attorney, although I do play one at bars. And I don't gather that there's much of a leg to stand on there.
You played at bars?
Yeah, if I'm,
Does it get you chicks? Or
it's just dismal. I'm so alone.
Perhaps you should try something else.
Well, I'll play a doctor next time. I mean, I'm very sympathetic to the caravan. I don't mind. I'm in favor of immigrants coming. I think we should quadruple the amount of immigrants coming in. My position.
But does it matter whether they're legal or illegal in your mind?
It does. Well, so I'd say that the one argument that I think is a good one that's being posited right now is the rule of law. If it's the argument that I'm seeing a lot from President Trump is, these are dangerous people, ISIS is in them, and it's just fear mongering and drumming it up right before the election. And I don't like that. I don't think that's who we are as a people. I don't think that that's a good thing for the president to be doing. The argument I'm hearing from you guys when I'm here on the show of like, look, generally we want more immigrants, but they have to come in legally. I think that that's a credible argument to take. I would add to that, however, like when you bring up Mexico and the amount of Mexicans that would want to come work here, there are things that we could be doing that would help build up their country. And I don't mean in terms of giving money to them. I mean, our farm subsidies make it very difficult for them to compete agriculturally because we're taking tax dollars from all of us, giving it to largely agribusiness instead of small farmers, and that allows them to lower the prices of stuff, and that keeps Mexico uncompetitive. They've got cheap labor, and that's something they could capitalize on. So I'd say, okay, let's have border security, let's vet people, that's all fine. I think we should increase the amount of labor, and I think we should quit doing things that are unfair to the American people and to Mexico at the same time.
Yeah, you touched on the root of the problem, I think, there, and that's the problems in Mexico and Central and South America. We should be encouraging them to fix their own countries so less people feel the need to immigrate. I mean, when they come here, oftentimes they're waving their country's flag in our face. Well, if you love it so much, why aren't you there? It's because their country's not working. So their countries need to be healed. They need to be places where they can support a population. And that is something that we neglect always and always have, really.
Well, it is something we neglect, but we always then get in trouble with meddling from the U.S.
That's
we
true.
get blasted for keep your hands to yourself. Okay, which is it?
Right. Right. Great point.
It's got to be a happy medium.
Yes. All right. Back in a minute.
But yeah, if your country is so bad you can't live in it, maybe you should try to fix your country.
You have to.
Okay.
Good old Babs, Jeffy.
Oh man, Barbra Streisand, I love her so much, and she is
Do you?
one. I do.
Who
Oh, man.
doesn't?
Thank you.
Doesn't?
Thank you. And she is once again babbling about moving out of the country because of the hatred of Donald Trump, because the Democrats are going to lose the midterm elections. And she's also claiming that Donald Trump is so full of hate and so angered her that it's making her fat.
What?
Yeah, she's blaming Donald Trump for her fatness.
Is
Now,
that,
I'd like
is
to
that
go
what
on record
happened
as
to you?
saying no,
No, that
it's not.
predates Trump.
No,
But good question.
That's Gingrich fat right there.
Sarah.
that hurts, Sarah. That hurts. I don't know. That hurts. No, that is not what happened to me. No, but if I can blame Trump for it, let's do it.
No,
it's
but
his fault.
she really, how did she put that together?
She gets so angry at Donald Trump because he makes her so mad that she wakes up in the morning and feels so good, and then she listens to something Donald Trump says and she has to eat pancakes. It's so bad.
Okay.
So she claimed in an interview that it's so bad that she's thinking about moving to Canada. Well, how about you stick to your guns? Because prior to the Trump election in 2016, she was interviewed in Australia, and she claimed that if Donald Trump won, that she would move then.
There's a lot of folks.
I know, I was going to
there's
say we should
plenty.
make a running
Lena
list.
Dunham and there's a huge amount.
Yes.
Alec Baldwin has done that.
And I know that you miss seeing Barbara, as I do. So I'd like to play the clip from Barbara in Australia from 2015.
be a treat.
Thank you. She is tremendous.
I worry. I don't take anything for granted. I want Hillary Clinton to be president of the United States, but it's still, there's still a lot of sexism and a woman being president, and making fun of her the way he insults her right and left. And has no facts, but I don't know. I can't believe it. I'm either coming to your country if you'll let me in, or Canada.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank
I
you
wonder if
very
she's
much.
had any work done.
No.
I will say she looks pretty good for whatever. What is she? 70?
See, because
Mid 70s.
70s, 80s.
well,
She
I'm
is
sure
an
she has a good
excellent
doctor. I will say
She
this: have you really quickly before we go on? Have you seen the woman who has had so many surgeries that she's tried to look like a cat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some resemblance
No,
there.
not too bad. Barbara's not too bad. I mean, Barbara is probably pretty close to my theory on plastic surgery. I have a theory on plastic surgery. I'm going to take a sidetrack, but my theory is 3 cuts to clown face. The first one, you get the first plastic surgery cut, it looks great, and you think, man, that looks good. And my eyes are looking great. I get a second
So
one.
you
I
want to
can
look
do the
even
chin.
better.
I'm 67 and I've had one plastic surgery.
Right, and you get the second
I look
one. The
fantastic.
second one doesn't quite match up to the first one, and you go, well, maybe I just get another one to tighten up here a little bit. You get the third one, clown face.
You're done.
It's over.
With going to Canada, that always seems so presumptive to me that, because this happens every election. People are like, if I lose, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go to Canada. Can you just show up and be like, I'm angry, I'm American, let me in? And they're like, oh, of course, because we don't do that. Like if I can I just go to Scotland and be like, I'm mad, let me in, give me automatic citizenship. There's a presumption that everybody wants you, and that's not necessarily true.
The Australian 60 Minutes interviewer said, come on, you're more than welcome. But she also didn't move.
Right.
There,
in
she's
2016
still
when she
complaining.
threatened?
That's correct. So I know that, look, she's so upset now, too, that her new album is coming out. Amazing that she's doing interviews and she's got a new album coming out. But she's busy promoting that, saying that this is her first actual album that's going to incorporate politics.
Oh, good.
So it'll even get better than what she's produced in the past.
The problem in America right now is we're not political enough.
Right?
That's if only we could take more time at home to focus on hating each other.
I can't wait for Babs in the Round beating up Trump. It's going to be good.
If only there were fewer forms of refuge from the political bullcrap that we're hearing.
No kidding.
It would be great, wouldn't it?
Whenever I watch football, which is not a lot, but I'm like, oh, this isn't political enough.
Right.
Why can't I find another reason to hate people on a Saturday?
Where's Bill Maher? Why isn't he part of this game?
Thank you.
All right, Jeffy, last word on Barbra.
I just, move.
That's a good last word.
Move.
All right, what's going on in Afghanistan?
So there's a report that comes out called SIGAR, which is the Special Inspector General of Afghan Reconstruction. And the latest report that's come out is pretty bad. So it's saying that at this point, we've been there a long time. We spent about $900 billion. The amount of actual districts within Afghanistan that are controlled by the government, Afghanistan has declined. It's like at 56%.
That's also drug lords, right?
Yeah, and opium's up. So it's kind of the attempt to stabilize and nation build has, by my lights, failed. And I'm that's happening. The civilian death toll is up. Assassinations are up. So it's going very, very poorly. I think that there are reasonable arguments of like we need to withdraw slowly, we need to try and keep a platonic core in there. But I read that and go, at this point, I don't see it getting a whole lot better with us pouring more money and people in there. And I think it's time to cut our losses and get out.
Yeah, I think everyone at this table agrees with you.
100%. That's like Afghanistan's a nation killer.
Yeah.
It's the boneyard of empires. There's only, to my knowledge, one. Alexander the Great went in, and he kept it, and he also married local, which maybe Trump could, or if Bush had done it. But generally, you go in there, and it just shatters your empire.
And it's not just Afghanistan. I'm in favor of us staying out of people's affairs. Unless it directly involves, unless we've been attacked.
Right.
Other than that, leave it alone.
It's
time.
All right, back in a minute.
I'm tired of the military intervention into everything.
Plus Afghanistan, I can talk about.
Jeffy, how is the podcast going?
Chewing the Fat with yours truly, going great. Monday through Friday, you can download it wherever free podcasts are sold, and on the Blade Podcast Network. A couple of times a week on Pat Unleashed, we give you a little, what'd you say, Pat? Extra fat?
A little extra fat.
A little extra fat.
So, what can they expect to hear?
We cover, I cover all kinds of news stories like you guys cover on this show every day. That's not going to happen.
No.
I'll let you guys handle that. I want to talk about important news stories. Yes, important news stories. Like
food.
Yeah, like food, like restaurants and stuff like that. Yeah.
Football.
So you're like a cuisine critic, Jeffy?
I am a cuisine critic. I should be, actually. But I am a cuisine critic. Like, for example, naming your child after restaurants. I think that's a good deal. They have a lady that just named her baby Harlan after KFC, speaking of Glenn Beck as Colonel Sanders. And they got $11,000 for that, to name your kid Harlan. Wow. Oh, man, I'm naming my new kid Chick-fil-A Taco Bell.
Oh, my God. All right, everyone, don't forget to tune in on election night. We're going to have election night coverage here live. We're going to be going late into the night. There may be alcohol involved. We'll see you in overtime.